So our first segment on today's Vacation Station Travel Show here on Big Blend Radio features Melinda Taylor and Stephen Ward, and they're going to talk about Yerington Inn, where we're staying right now today, and it's our third stay here, third time to Yerington. And Yerington Inn it's a charming inn. It's a boutique hotel. It's going through renovations that is mind-blowing. I believe that Stephen and Melinda should be on HGTV. I'm just saying.
Too.
I think they need to have their own show about what to do with rooms and space. I've never seen anything like it. It's a beautiful. And they also own Coffee Slingers, and that's in town where you can get coffee, pastries, breakfast burritos. But the hotel is right here in downtown Yerington, very historic, charming. And so we're very excited to have them. You can look at the website, yeringtoninn.com, so you can see what we're talking about. And also go to coffeeslingers-yerington.com. So, and welcome back, Melinda. I think is this your third time now on the show? How are you?
I think it is the third time. Thank you so much for having me, Lisa and Nancy. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy to have Stephen join us.
I know. Stephen, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Well,
it's my silent partner.
I know. Somehow he went away
that
there.
Explains that.
I didn't do it. Okay, well, maybe he'll come back. It could just be the mute button or something. Are you there, Stephen? Huh. Something happened. But we'll get him back on. We'll get him back.
I'm here. I'm back.
There he is. He's back. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Good to be here. It was kind of a surprise that I was going to be on the show today.
Well, we're glad you made it because, like Nancy and I were saying that, the work that the two of you and your crew have done in the rooms, it's awesome to experience. We've seen photos, and Nancy and I have stayed here 2 times before, and finally we get to see your work. And Stephen, are you open to having like a HGTV crew, like a film crew, come and watch you guys with what you do? Because the attention to detail is amazing.
We took pride in that. I'm an old Marine salt, and uniformity and things in their squares and lined up. It's important to me. So attention to detail just kind of came. Some others call it OCD, but I just like making sure everything is nice and straight.
So who picked the color scheme for the rooms?
That would be me.
Oh, good job.
Stephen kind of questioned me a little bit, but he was very receptive, and he did every installation, and I think we made a really good team around the rooms.
That's awesome.
And it was a blessing.
No, because when I first opened my room, I was like, oh, man, look at this. Because the color scheme is so relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And it's neutral for men and women.
It has
we get a lot of good compliments about the color schemes. I've even given out the samples of the colors to others, the guests that have passed by. They have they come right to the office. Hey, can you tell me the name of that color? Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's our blend. We found it, but we tweaked it a little bit, so now it's our blend. No one would be able to walk in the store without.
See? There's another blend. Good job.
I know. Mm-hmm. Stephen, you get 10 points because you said blend. You get extra points for that.
Oh, yay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yay. That's it. Extra points. The location is really cool because you're downtown Yerington, and that's something I want to touch on. Yerington being a destination, because sometimes you hear, like, where's Yerington? And I'm like, well, it's east of Yosemite. It is near Devil's Postpile National Park, Death Valley National Park. You've got Ash Meadows down. You've got so many parks. Melinda, do you find a lot of people coming in just from all over the world, or just there's so many reasons to come here, but all the parks?
No, all the parks I think is huge. I really feel like the whole geocaching thing. I think you and I've discussed this. It's amazing, all the people who come from around the world because I think Stephen quoted yesterday that it was like the second biggest in the world for geocaching. And again, we've had guests from I mean, Germany, Switzerland, I mean, on and on and on, UK, etc. And we had a couple that I thought it was really interesting. I may have said that the last time I talked to you. They were here for like 3 weeks, just going all the way around, you know, and they were super excited and energetic and just really fun to have.
It's
just fun to have that.
The geocaching thing's a neat way for people to go out in the desert, and I think you have over 11,000, as I recall, geocaches, caches. But Steve, apparently there's one around here. Am I allowed to say that, or have I already broken a rule?
No,
you can say it's on the list. It's a really tiny one, so it's one of the most difficult ones, quoted by the geocache team. This little guy here is I've seen some heads move around and back and forth and stand there with their hands on their side like it's right here. I know it is. And it's a little tiny thing, so it's been a challenge. Yeah, it's kind of an welcoming for the geocachers when they come to the hotel. That's why we picked the spot here.
Mm.
So it's been fun. Yeah.
Stephen did that particular one. He relocated, and so I've had people come in and go, we just at least need just a small hint. And no, don't tell us. No, please tell us. Please tell us. No, don't.
You know, there's over 3 million active geocaches worldwide in 191 different countries on all 7 continents.
And you're geeking out today, Nancy. You're doing good.
Look at her.
I know. But it's interesting thing. It's a big thing, you know. And if you think about the messages that are put inside, I'm just going to pay people. You look at the power you got here. That you might want to put some messages in that amp it up, kick it up a notch.
Nancy, don't I'm just worried about what kind of messages you would leave in a geocache. I'm just saying, you know.
I'm going to start doing it. And there's 642 million founded logs recorded since it started in just 2000.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
But it's such a cool treasure hunt. I think it's powerful that it's a treasure hunt, and it's a unity of people coming together over something about, you know, it's treasure hunting. And we had a really good friend who's since passed just a few months, like not even a month ago, and he got us into geocaching, and he went. I mean, this is a thing, man. You can't go anywhere without him looking at his phone for the latitudes and longitudes, and it was a big deal. And then coming here and meeting Larry, oh my gosh, this is a big deal, and it's cool. I love it, and I love that it's out here because the scenery is so rugged and beautiful, and it changes every time you go around the bend. It's like it's that rugged red, and you know, we've been here in the fall where the fall colors are just intoxicating, but now it's all green and reds and blues and sage, and so it's just such a beautiful area with the Walker River. And I did want to touch though a bit on Yerington itself. Stephen, I know you're involved with the Chamber of Commerce and a lot of different organizations here. Let's touch on the community, because I know a lot of people fall in love with a town, like a small town, and then they think of relocating or moving. What would you say that it's like to live here?
Well, it's definitely a small rural town. Population 3,300 and fluctuating. We estimate it'll grow by a couple hundred this year. It's an hour and 15 minutes away, north, east, south, and west from all the bigger cities that are in this area: Reno, Carson Valley, Fallon. So it's interesting the way it's laid here, and it is a destination town, strangely enough, too, because also 2 of the big highways that cross Nevada actually come through Yerington, Highway 95A and Highway 50. And they intersect in other cities, but it's a great travel town. It's where people literally have to come through Yerington to get to other areas in Nevada. So it's becoming very popular, and that's why our hotel has been a successful situation for us, because we're not just a travel town, but we're a destination too. People literally are coming here to visit, reunions, family. We have a lot of really great activities in this town. We Although they may not be happening this year, we have the car show, and we have the Night in the Country, and we have a very large rodeo, fair and rodeo here in the summer. We have one of the biggest Christmas parades. Believe it or not, we had 60 floats this Christmas in December.
Wow.
And it brought people from other towns to come. We had a really great time. It's our second year doing it, and we really worked hard last year to make it grow, and we have a contest for floats and ideas. And actually, the Yerington Inn won second place this past year.
Oh, sweet.
Thanks to our friend. Thanks to Rudolph. Yeah, we've had a good time. But it's a good community. They have a theater here, and they do a dozen shows a year. They have we have live small concerts in the theater. It's a really neat little theater. It's called YTA. And we get artists, kind of like some of the artists you mentioned. They were passing by and they go, "Hey, we'll do a show there." And it only holds 100-some people, but they don't mind coming through because the people here respect it and they support it and they have a good time.
Yeah.
It's great. The theater, Nancy and I've been into the Yerington Theater of Arts.
That's a beautiful
it's so cool.
theater.
And because the way the seating is, and that intimate, and I've seen, you've got some decent acts that come through here. It's like, and I think it's because like you're saying, that proximity. It's like, oh, we can add this date in for, and I'm like, wow. And do you guys still do? I know this year is weird with the whole COVID thing. And I want to say that you're handling the COVID thing really well here at the hotel, but I wanted to touch on this. There was you had like a beer, like the Taste of the Valley that was going on in the fall.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they have the wine walk here, and they get to see art and people. Those are charity little organizations that we do here. And the wine walk is fun. People can set up a booth and do a little wine tasting. And it's kind of a fundraiser for a young youth person that was here in town that passed some years ago. But it brings a lot of people out on the street, and all the businesses support it. So they put a table out, and they do some samples, and you get to have a little contest and go through. Get a stamp for coming to that booth or that company. It's a lot of fun, and they have things like that often here. We just tend to make this little town a really active, fun. The car show is coming in Father's Day.
Amazing.
We just got confirmation. Yeah. Can I talk about that for a sec?
Yeah, please do. Go ahead.
That was official yesterday. So far, at this point, the city council and the mayor agreed that we should probably take a shot at it. As long as they maintain social distancing. 3 years ago, our car show was 100 cars, and then it was 160 cars, and last year we had a little over 300. It was quite a turnout, and they're coming from all over with some really neat vehicles. So this year we're just going to spread them out every other parking lot and kind of try something new, just so we can start getting people back out on the street and mingling and sharing history.
But my mother taught me social distancing when I was a teenager. So people did get real with it. So get the look out. Come on.
Well, I want to touch
some of us miss
on
our
that.
hugs,
I want to touch on it, but without touching. When we came to the hotel, I wanted to. I mean, we all know the world has changed. The world of travel and tourism has changed, and I really want to touch on this. Number one is go to places like Yerington that are not affected by the virus as much as cities that are where people are almost living on top of each other, right? So it's fresh air, it's spread out here. The hotel, I have to say, Yerington Inn you guys are doing an exceptional job of cleanliness, protecting your guests, protecting your staff, and I think you've got to do both, and I think that is exceptional. When we drove in, and it's like you can't go into the lobby without cleaning your hands. You need to know where you're coming from.
Awesome.
Could you be a carrier? You're really taking care. Even you have Melinda, you were telling me that the staff goes in and cleans the doorknobs every day. It's like these kind of practices. You guys were doing it immediately. And I think and you're open outside. Your doors go to outside. You're not in a hallway.
Well,
No, that was one of the reasons why we were allowed to stay open. And they couldn't challenge. We were actually a very essential business because we have companies that are here from all over the place, from all over the country.
International.
And Australia, we had South Africa, we had Switzerland. past couple of months. Some of them got stranded for a while, but they finally got to go home, and they're coming back. They were so happy with what we did for them, and we took care of this, especially the long-termers. They were stranded away from home, so we hooked them up with a barbecue and some coolers and bought them chicken and beef so they could do some barbecuing and kind of get out of their rooms and break away from the rut of eating through all the drive-through windows in town. And we wanted to make it comfortable for everybody, but not just safe, but comfortable. We wanted them to feel like they were part of it. And I literally had coffee with most of the tenants that were here long term every morning at 6:30 when I open up the front office. They just all meet out in front and make a cup one at a time. Come in, make a cup, or someone would make them all and enjoy coffee out front.
Well,
it's a neat hotel.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have to say one thing. These guys from South Africa. One of them was expressing how he loves tomatoes, etc. And he, I think Stephen, did you say that he only could buy brown tomatoes, or he could only get seeds for brown tomatoes? So Stephen bought him a bunch of different types of tomatoes, from red to purple to all these different colors. This could take home.
He'd never seen a white tomato before, so I let him see.
Yeah, and we were just like, hey, if you want to plant, we'll provide that. They ended up going home, so they didn't plant, but we were going to provide some planting options for our long-term guests, because just to be accommodating.
Well, you're both gardeners, and I think the tomatoes are a big deal in South Africa. We lived there. Tomato and onion sandwiches were like a regular. And we won't talk about the polony over there. That I'm sorry, but no, it should not be allowed. It's like spam.
Oh,
but anyway,
so good.
I'm just saying. But tomato and onion sandwiches were like a normal thing. And tomatoes, I mean, when you grow your own, they're really good. I mean, there's a difference between there's a night and day difference. So for you to even think about, let's grow some. I know that you're doing landscaping around here too, and you're both into gardening. Stephen, you're also building a memorial here, aren't you? A memorial garden.
We are. We started maintaining it a little more comfortably. It used to be an old pool that got filled in, so I went to the group and asked. Yes, but we know about that. We cleared an area out. And we're going to plant a tree here. I'm actually bringing in a fruit tree. I'm looking for a really nice apple tree that people can pick off when they're here as guests. But we're doing a fallen hero memorial outside in the front park. There's a sitting area. We just put up a flagpole, a really nice, classy flagpole, and right in front we're going to do an honor of all of our fallen from around the country and from this area. I'm active with the VFW and the American Legion, and they're gonna back me and support me, and we're gonna have a really nice ceremony this spring, and really make the most of it.
And Yerington seems to be quite a patriotic town, and I want to thank you for your service as well for our country. And I think that's something that when you're in a small community, that you get to hear people's stories, connect with them personally. It goes beyond putting, there's nothing wrong with it, putting a yellow ribbon out and things like that, but there's something about actual connection. And I think that's important, that we have this connection between also the civilians and the military, because sometimes that is can be two different worlds. And I think what you're doing is so important because it's in a spot where travelers are coming through, and that's going to make some, families really feel at home that have been, military families that are traveling, and it just is something where it's welcoming. And I think that is, you're doing something that's going to bridge gaps as well. And, I don't know how to bridge the gap, because we've talked about this so many times on shows about how to do it. And all I know is it is things like creating an area like what you're doing, and especially a garden that gets people to understand.
Well, I always get certain places we've been like, there's benches that you sit on in parks that say, this bench was donated under this person's name, and
Right.
because of the service they did. And then I got to go Google the name because I want to know what they did, because not the plaques don't always say exactly what they
Yes.
did, but now I want to know. But it
Right.
means something, and you know, and I think it needs to be there so people really understand and think about the sacrifices people make.
Beyond a number.
Yeah.
And we will be having 2 benches here, actually. I've already
cool.
selected the names of the fallen heroes
Awesome.
from this area. And we're going to have them displayed by the apple tree. I just didn't throw that in. But we're trying to make it a nice little memorial garden. People do like to come sit here and enjoy it. And the roses will be popping out of here any day now, so it'll be full of bloom.
No, that's awesome.
We're getting there.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What I wanted to say is, I'm so sorry. What I wanted to say is, we try to really honor as far as pricing at the hotel. Our most, competitive pricing is our veteran rate, and Stephen is really incredible around giving. He just always honors our heroes, etc. And we've had some pretty cool people just come through. So that's something that is really important to both of us.
I think it is part of
Yerington, Nevada, quoted by the Marine Corps Gazette magazine, is the number 3 city for the most retired Marines in the nation.
Oh wow! Are you kidding me?
I didn't even know it until I actually got here, and I have my magazine come.
Wow!
I just flipped it through, and there it was. I'd only been here 2 months when I figured it out, and I was completely surprised.
That is surprising. Wow.
There's a city really close here that used to be it's the largest ammo dump in the world for the most part. It has all the ammunition.
Is that Hawthorne?
Yes.
And so a lot of people that worked there and got stationed there, they actually retired here, and that's how.
Oh wow! Wow, we've been through Hawthorne.
There was
on 95.
Some song back. So praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. The ammunition's a big deal,
Well, we'll get Mike Wardy on the show, and he'll want to. So I recently learned that things like fighter jets and tanks they're considered ammunition. I didn't quite get it. They're armor and ammunition. I'm having a lot of history lessons lately, and it's like,
about
wow.
Bullets and guns. I think it's praise the Lord. Pass the ammunition. I got to shoot some.
Okay.
No.
Uh-oh. Okay. But listen, the other thing, too, I want to touch on, because he talks about coffee, okay? And you have coffee, Wolfgang coffee in the rooms, got coffee makers, you got a refrigerator, like a big refrigerator, not like one of those that you look under the table for. A big refrigerator that actually has a freezer. Now, how many times do you travel where you've got your little freezer things and you can't use them? You want to go use the microwave, which is in the room, but you can't, because when you go get the microwavable food, it could be lean cuisine, whatever it is, you can't make it work because there ain't no freezer. You can't, you can't keep your ice cold. There's a freezer. There are things here that
it welcomes long-term stay when you get a freezer.
And
smart.
And your desk, you have a desk with seriously good internet. We're here doing the radio show through the internet, and the desk has a lamp above it with the little plug-in with the 3-pronged. One of my rants on the road is you sometimes have to move things into the bathroom to make them work, and you don't have to do that here. And so I'm just going to say,
you have to put your computer in the shaver plug.
Yes, and I want to say that when you open the door, there is like a linoleum flooring that looks like hardwood floor, and then it's like smart carpeting, smart flooring, so that if you are out off-roading or geocaching or hiking, it's not the end of the world, and it's not one of those carpets, that grabs everything
all the way around
out of your boots. So this is a very smart and tasteful. And we talk about tasteful. This is tasteful. It's beautiful, nice, clean. So I really just want to tell people that it's a surprise, and you wouldn't think it. You just don't. And then when you come here, Yerington will surprise you. Yerington Inn will surprise you.
Yeah.
And then there's the Coffee Slingers, which I couldn't even get in to do photos today because Coffee Slingers, you guys were so darn busy. Like, you're like the coffee shop on the block. People driving through, getting their coffee and their burritos. So, like, tell everybody about that because we couldn't even get our photos, Melinda. You guys are too busy.
I want Stephen to jump in because he was a part of, like, Gregory did, a lot of the process. Stephen did kind of the mechanical pieces. Stephen had a foresight around this whole coronavirus thing. So I want him to jump in and really talk about kind of what he saw as we were going through it, and I think he has a good vision around it.
Well, first of all, when I first got here, it was an empty building. It wasn't even being used. I was involved in commercial real estate for years and years, sold a few coffee shops, and I was really sad to see a beautiful building there with no activity. So we drew up a quick design to make it work, and we did a few cabinet rearrangements and got few pieces of equipment, and we maintained and upgraded the others, and bingo, we had a new store, and it was a different name originally that was slated for it, but being out here in cowboy country, I just felt that Coffee Slingers was a cool name, and
I gotta stop you. He's minimizing. We had kind of a bigger company trying to kind of consult and do a launch. And so he came in, and it was actually the launch. It was a Mud Slingers was the name, and it was this whole national thing, Mud Slingers. So he goes, wait, what? They're going to charge you X? And so he stepped in and said, hey, what about Coffee Slingers? And then
that's a good name.
We have a web designer, did amazing, it was super cool, the visual logo. So anyway, I'm sorry, Stephen.
No, I think it's funny. My visual on Mudslingers got nothing to do with coffee.
No,
I know. That's what he said.
Don't go there, Nancy.
I slightly went there, but it's funny.
No. Carry on, Stephen. Please continue.
So we didn't have one in town. I had heard at one point there was another company coming here to start a little coffee shop, and business is business, and community to me is community. So I didn't want to see someone come from another city, an hour and a half away, to kind of take over a little business, that we could have our own little people do it and our own families come. And we have a family. I'm getting ready to have their third child from a couple we know work for us, because we provide jobs for these kids right at the end of their high school year. It's a great opportunity to learn a little business, and they network. And so the show, it went on really well, and we've been growing. I on the sixth patient they announced in the United States about the coronavirus, I got a little bug in my ear and said, you better do something quick. So we knew things were going to change. We stocked up, we got things going, and we expanded the menu a little bit because I knew the restaurants weren't going to be in business. And we were another essential. They categorized us because we have drive-through. We don't have walk-in or sit-down. So having two windows was a huge success for us. It's a very busy little shop right now. People do like our burritos, and we make bagel sandwiches, and we have a wide variety of different pastries, and we just introduced some new stuff, a new apple fritter. Actually, it's a little mini apple pie, and it's quite stunning if you haven't had it.
See, apple pie day today.
And it has sugar in it, so jump over there.
There you go. Yay.
He was listening.
Well, apple pie is important. You're going to have an apple tree. George Washington would dig that you're having an apple tree, since he helped bring him over here too. Just saying.
My whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have the trailer as well. In the summer, we open it up on Fridays right here in the parking lot at the hotel, just to kind of offset the flow over there, and people enjoy it. They all the local businesses right here around the hotel walk right over.
Cool.
And
nice.
come get a
Very
coffee.
smart.
Nice little convenient. And we do take the trailer around. The next event I'm hoping we're going to make it to in August is called Gunslingers. It's in Fallon. And it's kind of like a little rodeo thing, you know, a lot of competition and a lot of fast drawing and horse riding. It's a neat little event. So we're hoping to get over there and introduce Coffee Slingers to the Gunslingers program and
good.
expand on that.
You don't want to be a gunslinger without some coffee.
Right, exactly. Well, the car show, what I was going to say is the car show from Christmas to the car show. Yeah, that is huge. We open it up and, you know, they're going to keep this. So we'll do social distancing, but we'll be there.
Awesome.
You bet.
Can we take it on the back of our RAV4?
You probably could pull it. I like it.
I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know.
One more thing about it is that I'm just going to throw a plug for our local grower, not grower, but roaster.
Yes.
It's Blind Dog Coffee. It was started by a family member who had a child who was blind, and he wanted to do something. So he gives back 20% of his company's profits to the American Blind Society, but he only uses organic beans.
Awesome.
He only uses organic beans. He's local, and he roasts right here. They're now just recently we switched to Keurig so we could start using our coffee. It's a really bold blend in our Keurigs, so they make us the new K-Cups now. And we're expanding that coffee into the rooms on the pods for the little coffee makers that you talked about earlier.
Cool.
I like my organic, so
it's important to us.
And the same thing applies at the hotel. You keep talking about the rooms, but I also switched the entire product line, and all the shampoos and conditioners in the rooms are all organic, made in America only. It's a fruit tropical type blend, but it's all organic, and I get it local as well now. So I take pride in those kind of things. The cleaning products we use are
that's what I was going to say.
Things like that. I don't use hard caustics in the cleaning and sanitary of the hotel. We try to use things that are a little more earth friendly. And
well, I want to say the products because you know sometimes you go in you know when someone's not giving you decent product, right? And when you travel. And so I know Nancy and I, we both travel with our own shampoos and soaps and everything, you know. And we even have our own toilet paper. Nobody pull us over for it either. But you know, just because because you never know. You never know on the road, okay? But we always when someone's use them to see what it's about. And both Nancy and I, the first morning came out, we were like, the shower kicks ass. Sorry for my language, but it does. And it's a big deal when you drive for hours and
such a big
hike
deal.
and photograph and whatever. It's just a big deal. A good shower with hot water that's not like your back is going to feel good. It just you're gonna get out of the shower and shake your tail feathers. You're gonna feel good and ready to start the day. And honestly, and then the soap we both tried. We were both like, you know what, this product works. And I'm not here doing a commercial. I'm like serious. You watch a place grow and develop, and it's so exciting when quality and integrity is putting into it. And Nancy and I are both so glad to be here through this process and to experience it. Like I said, it's our third time, and seeing, you know, all the changes you're talking about making, and we're in the process and still are in the process making, how positive they are and that they're real and here. And you really do have integrity, and I think that's so important, and it's part of having integrity to your town, not just your business, but integrity to the town. And it's a small business, and it does affect it. And this hotel, it's are huge. The main hotel here, and what you do affects the town in tourism.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're so excited, is to see that what you're doing is the right thing. And that affects tourism to a community, and you're doing it everywhere. So just thank you for that. as travelers, we appreciate.
I'm gonna hand all. I'm literally gonna tell you that Stephen has been just leading on all of this, all the products, everything. You know, we work together, but he's the one.
He's a Marine. He's detailed. He's got the organization very good. Yeah, you don't mess with the Marines, man. No. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you both for putting up with us. We always say that to people, you know. But honestly,
your
thank
feedback
you for having us.
Is incredible. Thank you. Yeah.
No,
it's
a great place, and we're just thrilled because Yerington. We want more people to discover it because it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. We've got, all the nature, the history that people can experience is huge. And you have one of the best museums, Lyon County Museum here.
It's incredible.
There's small town museums, and then there's small town museums that have stuff that you'll never see anywhere else. It was the first place we saw the hair piece, what do you call it?
They were knitting with human hair, crocheting brilliant pieces with human hair. And I'm like, what? But I also have that jawbone from that kind of prehistoric boar.
You've got a dinosaur here. We can't pronounce it.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that's so
it's wine time. We can't pronounce anything.
No, but I don't remember the scientific name, but it's a jawbone of a prehistoric boar. And you don't see it anywhere else.
And
kind of cool.
And they also have the stories of the ghost dancer. So the ghost dance is like a big deal in Native American culture, and it's kind of interesting. I've been looking at there's ghost dancers here and ghost dancers in the San Joaquin Valley, and I'm starting to connect their history.
Oh,
so that's it's kind of interesting what's going on. And it was in the Oasis of Mara. It's an oasis, a palm tree oasis in Joshua Tree National Park. And we were taking the walk and reading a placard, and it's like, well, it was Willie. His name was Willie, and it was like it's a whole other story. But like he was a ghost dancer, and then I'm like, no, but the original ghost dancers up here. It's bizarre how places are connected.
Everybody's connected.
It's connected. Yeah. That is so
all
cool.
connected. And then there's the Pony Express where was Wild Bill Buffalo a member of the Pony Express or not? Remains to be seen. Well,
and
some people say yes and other people say no.
The history of the Pies and Switch, how Yerington has 3 names, and one of them was Pies and Switch, and it was about someone making bad whiskey. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Never make bad whiskey. But it was the poison, and then they switched it. So there's a lot going on here to come and learn about the region. So thank you both for joining us. I want to give out the websites again. It's yeringtoninn.com. They have good information on the region, too. coffeeslingers-yerington.com. Of course, go to nationalparktraveling.com. Just type in Yerington, and you'll see all our different stories, like Pony Bob Haslam, who did the longest ride for the Pony Express, and he was stationed here. He also delivered Lincoln's inaugural address. So there's a lot of history. We've done a lot of stories, videos, and everything up there. So just go to nationalparktraveling.com and check that out. So thank you both. We'll see you in the morning for coffee.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. It's fun. Thank you, Lisa. And
Take
Nancy.
care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.